Morning people, welcome back to F Politics. The United Nations just declared that Israel is in fact committing genocide in Gaza. That is it. That's all we got. As human beings, that is the highest institution on this planet just declared that Israel is in fact committing genocide. So every government, every politician, every journalist who has backed Israel over the past 2 years, you are complicit in what you're about to hear.
The Commission concluded that Israel has committed genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza and that it is continuing with that genocide. Every day that passes, the killings and the starvation of the Palestinians continue. On 22nd August, the Famine Review Committee determined that famine is currently occurring. In our report, the Commission found that the Israeli authorities and Israeli security forces committed and are continuing to commit the following underlying acts of genocide against the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. 1, killing members of the group. 2, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group. 3, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part. And 4, imposing measures intended to prevent births within the group. The Commission concludes that statements made by Israeli authorities are direct evidence of genocidal intent. The Commission also concludes that the pattern of conduct is circumstantial evidence for genocidal intent, and that genocidal intent was the only reasonable inference that could be drawn from a totality of the evidence. Therefore, the Commission concludes that the Israeli authorities and Israeli security forces have the genocidal intent to destroy, in whole or in part, the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The Commission concludes that many Israeli political and military leaders, including President Isaac Herzog, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, and then Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, had incited the commission of genocide.
And it's an important point that the United Nations is using the genocidal statements made by Israeli officials as reasons why this is definitely genocidal, because it's about the intent of the people who've been committing the genocide. And so much of what you've heard from the Israeli government and its politicians has been implying that everybody in Gaza, including the civilians, is responsible for October 7th. Which means that when Israel went into Gaza in October 2023 in response to the attacks by Hamas of October 7th, they were treating everybody in Gaza as fair game because they held them all responsible. The Israeli government even put out tweets blaming civilians in general for those attacks. The president of Israel explicitly said that everybody in Israel was responsible for this. And what that means is the stuff that the United Nations has used as reasons why this is clearly a genocide has been known to governments across the world for literally years at this point. Which means that every government that has helped Israel, sold them weapons, helped them militarily, provided them with information, knew all the facts that the United Nations knew, which brought them to the conclusion that Israel was committing genocide. Which means Keir Starmer, Rishi Sunak, Nigel Farage, Boris Johnson, Donald Trump, all genocidalists.
Member states must act now. There is no need to wait for the International Court of Justice to declare it a genocide. All states are obligated to use whatever means within its power to prevent the commission of genocide. And so we urge member states to ensure accountability for any crimes that have been committed and prevent further crimes from being committed, not just in Gaza, but the entire occupied Palestinian territory.
The countries that are members of the United Nations have a legal responsibility to prevent genocide, which means that right now it is our legal duty to stop Israel. Whether that means crippling their economy with economic sanctions or boots on the ground, this has to end now. I'm Femi. Make sure you follow F Politics so politics doesn't F you. Have a great week.